been straight?
Yeah, it's definitely straight. It's very. I like that you're giving like a little bit of Hillary Clinton,
Is that what you meant by
and then
that?
a lot of like hood. Yeah, yeah. It's something. It's just. It's very classy. You got a very classy vibe going about you.
I always wear a headband, and
Yeah, but then you got the chain.
I had an ex that was like, nobody wears headbands, and I was like, bitch, I'm somebody. Bitch. I am somebody.
But we was talking about my controversial take
Go ahead.
is that black people are so beautiful that we don't need nice tattoos.
That's true.
It's a very serious thing for whites to have the finest line work ever.
They actually, yeah, and it's always. But you know what? I also think that they get taken care of a little bit better at the tattoo. When it's a white tattoo artist, they're like, oh yeah, that's one of the things. Are we being recorded right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Nah, we could go anywhere here.
I try to be really careful with the white people, black people shit.
Oh.
But it's not because of any type of fear of backlash. It's just we're already so divided.
And you you're all of us.
I am. I am. I'm also mixed with white.
How many mixes you got? Because you got a lot of mixes, dude.
As far as I know, so far,
yeah,
I'm Black, Puerto Rican, Native American, Irish, and Italian. Puerto Rican, Native American, Irish, and Italian. Yeah.
That is.
My dad is.
You even hit the oppressed whites, like you.
Yeah. All struggle.
Yeah, the loud cultural white. I love the ethnic whites. Yeah. Those are my favorites. But you black. But also,
I'm black.
You're indigenous, so you native.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait.
Lenape on my mother's side. Yeah, Lenape on my mother's side, dating back to our historical background is that my family founded Lawnside, New Jersey, because we're related to William Grant Still, the godfather of the Underground Railroad. We're the Still family, my mother's last name.
And here you come, embodying every aspect of what is currently called DEI right now. Yeah. It worked. The experiment worked.
Yeah.
Like, you are exactly what everyone says that the GOP and then this, you represent everything everyone says we're supposed to be afraid of. Yet every time that you're on stage, because I gotta say, so Foxx has hit the holy grails of comedy, right? Just for Laughs, fucking Comedy Central. Foxx is everybody, like regular at the store, regular at the Improv.
I'm not a regular at the store yet.
You kind of are, like
yet.
You have been at the store.
Well, the store was the first comedy club in LA that I had been to.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for there's a security/door guy. I wouldn't say more. Well, yeah, like half and half because he does comedy. But Guam, everybody knows Guam. So the first time I was an open micer, I didn't know up from down in stand up, and I showed up to the store, and I was like, hey, I'm just a young, I'm trying to do comedy, but I don't know where to. I don't have a ticket or whatever. And he's like, he was like, comedians go around the back, and I was like, but I don't have a ticket, and he was like, comedians go around the back.
The new Underground Railroad.
Oh, got it. Like he hit me with that. Like, listen, just go inside.
Yeah.
And then from there, my first 2 years in stand up, I was just sitting in the back of the OR watching everybody, and that was before pandemic. So I was watching Rogan and Maniscalco and just everybody that was making a splash. Ron White. Yeah. Back when Tony still had Mondays. And
that's right.
It was crazy.
That's right. Before that big move.
Yeah. So I've been around since then. And then the pandemic hit, and a lot of people were moving home because nobody really knew what they were going to do. So the comedy was illegal at that point. We were just doing backyard shows, trying not to get shut down. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to go where we can, right? So I went to Vegas. I was in San Diego all the time, just places that were just a little more lawless. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So you can hone the craft and keep working.
Absolutely. And then Brian Moses hit me up, and he's like, yo, shout out to Brian Moses. I love Brian. He's like, yo, we're trying to just keep things moving at the Comedy Store. I want to do some type of digital content team or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So it's me, him, Frank Castillo. It's a bunch of us just in the basement of the Comedy Store trying to figure out like, okay, like what kind of podcast can we shoot? What can we put out to keep people engaged, right, on the Instagram and shit. So, you know, I did my first Pink's Playhouse, which is like my podcast, which I'm working on coming out with. I just had a phone call today actually. So we hopefully will start shooting March.
Love that.
And so Pink's Playhouse coming soon, but
love that.
We did like the first one, and I found out there was this tool or whatever, and you could kind of B-roll, like you could shoot the B-roll if you hit this button, right, and it would do. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a camera person and we're gonna shoot some B-roll.
That's fun.
And just try to like integrate this and make it more of a show than a podcast. Yeah. And my first episode was Or Mash, the homie. And shout out to Or, she's on Wildin' Out right now. Sick. And we got out into the streets and just had a bunch of fun, and then we just did as many shows as we could. We took Van Corona was just like not at the Comedy Store or anything yet. He's amazing photographer. If you don't know who Van Corona is, look him up. Super good. But we used to take Van, and I'd take Or, hop into my truck, and we just go wherever the show was taking us, and you know, go out there, perform. He would take hella photos of us and stuff like that, and we just trying to make the best of pandemic. Yeah. But yeah, I'm off on a tangent, but I love it. That's kind of how it got started for me. Yeah. Just really falling in love with the craft of doing it, and then I wanted to shoot a special because I seen one of my homies, Jeremy Scipio, had shot his special. Right. And I went to the taping, and he was like, I was like, man, this shit was fire. And, you know, it was like really intimate, and he was doing his thing. And I'm like, okay, I think that might have been the first time I saw somebody shoot a special, right? Yeah. Or like their own like hour like that, right? Yeah. And once I was telling him about like how much I loved it and how good he did, and we weren't even that close yet. Like I just pulled up because we had, you know, people from around. Yeah. You might not be like friends with him yet, but you just see faces.
You be seeing everybody. You
see what's up. So I'm like, So once I kicked it, I think that locked us in. Like, okay, cool, you know. And he's like, yo, you need to do one, and I'm like.
So what you're saying is we have to look out for the special. Well, it's coming.
No. So listen, so that was the first one. So he said, you need to do one. I go, stop, right? Because I'm like, I can't afford to do all of this right now. Yeah. With the cameras and paying a crew and shit. But then.
Organizers, pay attention. You're about to get some recipes here.
2 friends of mine were doing this show in a studio, like a movie studio, not movie studio, but like a you know, they film shit there, right? Like, but not like movie blown out, like, you know, just bigger, like this, but like bigger. Yeah. And they were trying to do a fundraiser for the guy who owned it. He had a production company, and everybody was eating dust. Like nobody was hitting, nobody was listening. The audience was unruly. It just was like, it was crazy. Like it wasn't their fault. It was the audience for sure. Yeah. But they had like tables set up. It was too bright. So they're like, Foxx, get on and do some time. Like, just get on and do some time. I'm like, all right, yeah. Are you sure? Like, 'cause I wasn't booked, right? Yeah. And I'm like, just get on. So I got on. I did my thing, right? I don't want to say I crushed and killed because we overused those words. But I did my thing. I got their attention. I did my thing.
Yeah, what I do know, though, what's up? Is that you don't use the word bomb.
I don't bomb.
That's right. Yes.
I don't bomb.
Yeah, which is incredible.
It's not about, okay, Jeff Garland said, he was like, he might have said this on a podcast or something. I don't remember, but he's like, I never bomb because I take each lull as a lesson. Like it's sure, you know what I'm saying? Like
you're saying it's a mentality.
If you have if you have material that is tried and true, the shit that you're afraid of bombing is the new shit. So if you do some shit that doesn't quite hit like your other shit was hitting, go back to the shit you was doing a second ago. That's true. Get them back or jump into some crowd work. Yeah. And just grab their attention again, right?
You learn really quickly what your hangups are. On the stage. It's actually a lot like boxing. Like everything, all your problems come up when you get punched in the face. Like if you rage, if you emotionally shut down, if you blame other people, like you're going to get punched in the face again and again and again and again. And I have never come across something like boxing is all timing based. But the thing that really fascinates me about you, right, isn't just like your mentality. And you're everybody's favorite comedian Pink is their favorite comedian. Like that's just how it works. I've seen
you're
it.
kind.
Yeah, I've seen it. And but you get up there and you got all these insane ethnic mixes, racial mixes, but what people are immediately saying, what you're immediately confronting is, I'm a black transgender lesbian.
Wait, don't turn it off yet.
Yeah. And that's something. Those are like 3 things that the world has not, like separately, that the world has not made peace yet with yet. Like, and then you get on there and you say it and you don't, and I've watched it, I've seen it. You don't lose the audience. You do not lose the audience. You make it so natural and so casual and so not the point. Where did that come from?
You are who you are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the Rickest Rick. I've said that before. And
you're Rick Prime.
I'm Rick Prime.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do it, do it. Why would you pussyfoot around and you know, tiptoe around the fact that, okay, I'm different, right? You made the decision to get on hormones and transition and wear makeup and be like this pretty version of yourself.
Yeah.
Why stop now?
I think this audience knows that I do not believe that Dave Chappelle's jokes were transphobic. Like I don't think there was anything. I don't like the J.K. Rowling shout out, but I feel like there is nothing really off limits, and there's a lot of shit that, you know, came out of it. But I'm really curious though, because
okay, so I'll definitely say this.
Yeah, because I'm curious about your opinion.
I'll look at the camera when I say this.
Yeah.
I'm never just bringing up Dave. Because I feel like when I go on podcasts and I sit down with people, as a staple in my like trajectory, right, and like what I've done, and definitely one of the things that I'll never forget, doing an arena with Chapelle.
Wow.
But it is not something that I'm just like consistently bragging about, where I'm like, oh yeah, nigga, Chapelle. I take
I'm
very
about to brag about.
I take
know somebody who did that.
I take great pride in doing that, and I think that that's really dope that I had the opportunity to do that. But I'm gonna tell you what I said to Dave, and what I said to anybody that asked me about this, you know, my management, anybody. My issue was the pronoun usage. I don't like trans women being referred to as him and this nigga this and that nigga that, and you know, the trans experience is I
don't like that.
You want to boil that shit down to just being a nigga in a dress. That's your business. If you don't want to take the time to understand the nuance in the situation, or like what make people feel that way or whatever, and you're just going off of like, this is how I see it, so that's the reality of it, you're always going to be in that box.
Right.
Personally, I don't live in that box. I live in a box that has, everything has an explanation and everything has a why. And it probably dates back to me being raised Jehovah's Witness. You know, the niggas just get shot. That was crazy.
There was a sound from above, but I think we're good.
Shit was like, I'm from Camden. I was about to get the fuck out of here. But one of the things about, you know, being Jehovah's Witness as a kid, they don't celebrate holidays, not because they want to be sticks in the mud, but because they research where the fucking holidays come from.
It's true.
You know, it's that Halloween is All Hallows Eve. Christmas is a pagan holiday. It's just the winter solstice.
And insanely capitalist. Like they made that shit up.
Yeah, like all of this shit comes from somewhere else, and then they sell it to kids in like, oh, it's gift day or it's candy day, and it's like, oh, gifts and candy. Who doesn't want that?
I do have like one question. Like, I've never met a happy Jehovah's Witness. Do they exist?
There's so many.
Okay, good. I'm like, okay, you can be happy without these.
But they don't. Somebody else said this on a different podcast. Here's the thing. They're a very insular community of people. Just because they're not smiling at you or trying to talk to you doesn't mean that they don't have groups of friends at the Kingdom Hall, which is their church.
They do be nuanced as hell.
That ass. It's like if I meet a Hasidic Jewish person, and I'm like, oh,
I know them niggas not fucking with me, but I don't take that shit personally.
No, but if I was like, oh, I met one and he wasn't nice, so therefore they're all not nice.
Yeah, I hate that. That's so crazy. What is it called? Typological thing. I hate that shit.
Yeah, you can't be like that. I have a friend named Menachem who's amazing, and he's so friendly and sweet. And the only problem that I have with Menachem is that when I see him, he gives me a hug. And I'll be honest with you, as somebody who understands the faith, nigga, I'm offended. They're not supposed to hug women when they're married, and I told him that. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this hug, Menachem, and he's like, no, it's just because I love you, Pink. I was like, all right, but yeah, it's just you can't judge one by You can't judge all by one. And that's just the bottom line. But with the Chapelle shit, I wanted to get to the bottom of what he was trying to say. And I did something that I don't think a lot of people did. I went back to the very first stand-up that he did on Letterman. And I watched everything from there. Yeah. Every single time he was on TV, everything. And his bottom line has just been the plight of the black man.
Yes.
This is what it's like being black in America.
That's right.
And here are some other jokes that have to do with me and experiences and being black in America. Look at all of that.
Comparing my experiences to other people as a black man in America.
And so when the joke was like, you know, how are we losing in the I don't remember what he said, but it was like, how are we losing in the something Olympics, but like it
oppression,
was oppression Olympics, some shit like that. To like gay people, like how are they beating us as black people, right? Because black people, seemingly, the comparison would be like, well, you're born black, you can't control being black, and being black is normal. Right. Whereas the adverse would be being LGBTQ or being gay or being trans is not normal and not, you know, so if that's how you look at it.
And all a choice and
if that's how you look at it, that's how you're going to feel. And who's to tell you that you can't feel that way? But is it accurate?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when you're a young black person, I don't think people really take into account all of the shit that you have to go through. And it has nothing to do with hip hop, and it has nothing to do with the media and what's being forced down your throat, and really doesn't have much to do with your own community. But being black as a kid, and like one of 3 black kids in school a lot in Jersey, I had racist teachers. Because racist teachers exist. Racist teachers exist. They exist, bruh, and they're treating your kids funny, bruh. Like, it's not like
a teacher told my brother that his future was prison.
Yo, that's so crazy. Like, I had a teacher tell me in 5th grade that I'd never be president. He's a Republican. And he was very matter of fact. And everything he said was just super like brash and fucked up. And the thing is, I wasn't faggoty. I was just a regular ass little kid. How could you, and this is pre-Barack. You get me?
I do.
So it's like, why are you telling kids what they cannot be? And I never had anybody tell me what I could not do at that point. And it just was so asshole-ish. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And then other teachers that are like, you know, they'll treat you some type of way, and then when you have something to say about it, be like, well, you're being argumentative. Why are you being so aggressive right now?
Contrarian.
Yo, don't gaslight me. And gaslight, by the way, just means poke the bear. When you're poking the bear, you're gaslighting the fucking bear, dog. The bear will attack. Like, you cannot just play in someone's face and expect them to not feel some type of way.
This right here, you are hitting on, I think, like levels that are like eight layers deep, because there's the fact that, okay, so like, and I love black men because I am one, you know, in my soul. There's a Jamal in there, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah. Not here. Like, not in the face, but in here, in the heart.
I feel you. And in the book bag over there too.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and I'll be in the boxing clubs. I'm boxing clubs, comedy. Like, I'm in these very hyper masculine spaces, and I hear over and over again. You hear it in the podcast and the manosphere. Black men are like, we like all these gay people, this, that, every time they say something, they get it. And they feel it the same way about a lot of Jewish folks. They say something, they get it. When you're white, you get it, right? As long as you're not black, and I understand that, but you got to beware the narcissism of sorrow, right? Like, and your pain, and you got to connect it. And what I love, Chapelle, he is the absolute fucking goat when he's in his bag. When he is talking from his experiences, when he's pulling, like, you know, his, the bit about the plane hijackers, and then when they found out that the hijackers, that the plane was full of black people, and the White House was like, you know, that's brilliant on so many levels. That's like just right there with Kat talking about, you know, the insurgents and not knowing what there's levels, but you got to go beyond your pain. And so when he wrote those jokes, I said the only thing that we ought to be offended by as like trans people or LGBT is that we didn't write those jokes first, because we don't, something happened where the conversations what we had in the house, right?
Well,
we're not happening outside of the house no more.
Well, okay. So there's a shocking, I don't want to say embarrassment, but embarrassment, right? If you're having these conversations insular within your community, but then before you can present it, someone else is having a conversation outside of that community about a sensitive, very sensitive, like, topic, and making light of it in a way, almost as if like, but it should be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the car joke, how the gays are in the car, and the gays and lesbians in the front seat, and the trans person's in the back, and they need to use the bathroom, and it's like this state ain't for you, some shit like that. I forget how the joke goes, but if they put all the gays in there, trans would be in the back. Yeah. And I mean, that's true. That's true. That's true how they treat trans people. But, I said this on a different podcast. I'll say it here again. Listen, there's crazy people in every genre of people. There are crazy ass black people. Yeah. There are crazy ass white people. There are crazy Puerto Ricans. There's crazy lesbians, crazy gays, and crazy transgender people. We have crazy people every motherfucking where. Stop taking our craziest people and putting them up front like this is who represents everybody else. That's some bullshit. Yeah. And where we have the ability to go and be great, like of Laverne Cox and these other people that have broken through and just been amazing actresses and all of that. There are trans women that you don't know are trans that are working as bank tellers that are just in everyday normal ass jobs, doing the job to the fullest extent, to the best of their abilities, without skipping a motherfucking step. And nothing about them being trans hinders their ability to do what they need to do to get their fucking work done, because we're intelligent. Yep. And we understand what the fuck is going on. And the problem lies in the stereotype being magnified, like everybody is a fucking linebacker in a wig and a dress with heels that are, size 17 heels, trying to go into a women's room with a full fucking 5 o'clock shadow. Like that shit is like, get that shit out of here.
Sexually harass women. It's like, when the fuck have men ever needed to go stealth to sexually harass or abuse anybody? Like, it's just Imagine that. That's
some extra steps.
That's some extra. When have men ever taken extra steps? What the fuck?
Talk about it. This shit is crazy. So
they're like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get into a drag performance. Nigga, a man is going to a TJ Maxx to buy a dress?
Here's the thing.
What the fuck?
I'm attracted to women. I date women. Yeah. Solely. Not like predominantly, and sometimes I fuck with niggas. Yeah. I only date women.
Yeah, same.
I have to piss in public sometimes.
Yes, you do.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not looking at the bathroom like a free-for-all nigga. I have to pee. I'm getting the fuck in and out. Like, who's in here? Like, ooh, who's in there choosing? That's crazy. I don't know who's choosing in the bathroom. Yeah. That's so wild. I've been eating pussy for years, and the bathroom ain't no picnic, nigga. Like, what the fuck? We just got to talk about this shit and be real with each other. That's some bullshit. Like, and so I feel like, we're looking for different ways to isolate different groups of people and make them seem less than. Yeah. And the fact is, we're all living a human experience.
The problem, I think, with trans people in particular, and it's been fascinating because as a nignog, it's like my whole people realize we're black before they realize anything else. Like, they notice I'm black before they notice I don't got titties. And what's interesting is everything has been the problems of the black community have been always framed as your fault, right? Always, like, it's your fault. And what's interesting, and then every time, like, it's black liberation theory, right? Like, anytime we start organizing, everything in this country just fucking changes. Like, the second that black folks start to really move shit, that's the times when you see things happening. What I've noticed, what's interesting with trans folks, which is why they're doing so much to attack anything black, DEI, woke, critical race theory, identity politics, whatever. What's interesting,
land your plane, but I want to talk about being woke for a second. Yeah. After that,
perfect, is that trans people, one of the smallest populations of people, in the country,
small as hell.
Yeah, like small.
Yeah. It's only a few million.
Yeah, like small, like less than 2% of the population.
That are out.
Yeah. less than 2% of the population,
right,
are being positioned as the problem, and that is a new thing. That was not the case 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. It was growing. So what they do is they're trying to smash preemptively any kind of black voice that is saying what is going on, and at the same time they're saying to all of these people across America that this ridiculously small, formerly unknown, really unbothered population that is only occasionally annoying online is now the reason why you can't buy fucking eggs, that you can't get a job. They're not talking about, they're the reason why your parents have money that you don't. And people, the thing that shocked me, right? Because we all are navigating different things. And as somebody who was in a very prevalent and hated black movement, it was black trans folks and black queer people and black women who was really the and that's partly why we were rejected by a lot of black people, because there was that, because of who we were. And that's why people like Oprah called our movement leaderless, which shocked me because, well, I knew all of them. You know what I mean? There were 3 co-founders that were black women. And there's this moment now where I'm a little bit, I'm frustrated with the trans movement culturally, because a lot of gay white institutions have led that charge. It's not been people who look like you. And what they fight about doesn't actually change the conditions for black trans women, trans women of color, trans women at all. It's been about bathrooms and pronouns.
Do you know that is one of the biggest reasons why I decided to just go ahead and transition?
Yeah.
I was online looking for representation because I know how I felt, and I socially transitioned in college. And then I just kind of like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Trailed off. Never detransitioned, just trailed off.
Yeah.
Lived my life and shit.
It's a lot of investment. I don't think people really get it.
No, people don't get it. But you're coming out and you're being like, okay, so basically you're just trying to restore yourself to factory settings. Like, that's being transgender.
Oh my God.
Like, you're like, yo, I was feminine as a kid until the world hardened me. And I just got to get that shit off me right now.
Oh my God, yo, that's some real shit. Like, I tried to get a mustache and I got hair on my asshole. Like, that's what happened. Like, that's what testosterone. I really was trying to get to factory. That's crazy. Even getting rid of my little non-existent A cups, the little slopes I had. It was like, I want to go back to factory mode. That's oh my God.
You just want to take it back. Like, before my uncles came in, and I'm the child of a gangster, and my uncles were gangsters. One of my uncles is a singer, but I have street people in my life that are really rough people on my dad's side, and that's my Italian Puerto Rican side. And then on my mom's side.
Sorry, I would not have gone there first. That's because I went to stereotypes. The Italian and Puerto Rican side, got it.
Yeah. There's black people on that side too, but they're Italian Puerto Rican for the most part. So, and then my mom's side, they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and all of my cousins are in like computer tech and shit. And you know what I'm saying?
You are all of America, nigga.
So like. So
you're like all of American history, bro. So
for me, I grew up and it was boys don't sit like that. Boys don't talk. Put some bass in your voice and shit. And I have people ask me now, like, what kind of vocal training did you take for your? I've always had a light voice.
No, but hold on one second. I found out something. Pink sings. And also on stage, and if you go on Pink Fox's IG right now, there's literally there's a clip from the show I was at. She's wearing plaid, like green, and she fucking is crooning on the stage, and it was like a panty dropper. Like, you can actually sing.
But it was a bit.
No, it's totally a bit. No, it's 100% a bit.
I was a singer before I was a comedian.
With that fucking smoky ass face, like Smokey Robinson ass face.
That's so funny. So I was a singer before I was a comedian, and I was in the music studio at the first time I was in the music studio I was like 9 with my mom. She's a jazz singer, and then my own moments of being in the studio with like producers and shit. I was 14, and my producers used to pick me up after school. And I was a reference vocalist for a lot of producers and songwriters in the tri-state area of like Jersey, Philly, right? New York. So I got a lot of practice and I recorded a lot of music back then. And then I got older and I just stuck with it.
Yeah.
And it was what I wanted. I've had 2 songs on the radio that hit when I was in high school. They were in mixed shows, but the DJ was the homie. So he had my shit in rotation quite often. But, you know, I remember I was supposed to go, this is not controversial, but back when Kanye was college dropout Kanye, he was coming to the radio station that I used to volunteer at. Cause I was an intern. I was like a DJ assistant, but like I wasn't in college. So I wasn't like a real intern. I was just a high school student. But I did like whatever they needed at the radio station.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a nigga text on a podcast in my life.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually communicating
with the producer.
Yeah.
You could have just said something across the room.
I didn't want to be rude.
It's all good. Hey, nigga, what's up?
I just said we're gonna add a little more.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. So I was supposed to go meet Ye, early pre-Nazi Ye.
Yeah, when when the con was still there.
Yeah. And I went to the mall and I had an outfit and all that shit because they were like, yo, he needs to hear your music and all that shit. And I'm like 16 at the time, 17 maybe.
Wait,
some shit like
what
that.
did you look like at 16, 17? I gotta know. Like, was it you with a fade? That's it?
No, I was me with braids.
Yeah.
I just had cornrows.
Cornrows, yeah. Oh, you was pretty as shit.
I wore a hoodie. I was.
Bro, you look like a stud back then.
Yeah. So I wore a hoodie. I wore basketball shoes.
Wait, did you have a lineup?
I had basketball sneakers. I had basketball sneakers.
Oh,
basketball shorts, and I wore Nike high blazers.
And I know them shorts went down past the knees. I know, because that was some N1 days.
I wore Jordan shorts.
Yeah.
I wore my high school hoodie, and I had on high blazers. And if I didn't have on the shorts, I was wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah.
With the studded belt.
Yeah.
And my best friend Sabrina was a stud, so we would trade clothes.
Wait, was Sabrina white?
Nah.
Okay,
nah.
I was gonna say,
like back in the day, my best friend Sabrina had it. It was like we used to wear like.
I've known some white stud Sabrinas.
She was black.
Yeah.
So we used to wear fitteds, cock like way back, like super like that, right? Like and I had the skinnies on and the hoodie, and we was wearing just like colors and shit, and it was all of that. I was just the ultimate fuck boy. So the fuckboy package. If you ordered fuckboy on Temu,
on Temu,
that was my whole aesthetic. I was really just trying to dance and fuck hoes. But that's back when I was singing R&B for real. Yeah. So fast forward now, you know, as a grown ass adult, this
is me communicating with Kaden again.
It's all good. It's all good. I never lost my love for music. But I stopped doing music when I transitioned because I just never felt like there was a place for a transgender R&B singer.
Yeah. Wait. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just stopped. I was like,
even though, like, I swear to God, half of them have been like, that's what well, not transgender, but they've been so gender fluid, and that was what was beautiful about music and expression. You got wearing a Prince tee right now.
Well, my manager when I was doing music called me. He was like, I came out to. We had a show a specific night, and I came out in this outfit, and I had on skinnies and all this shit, and he was like, you look like a faggot. I fired him immediately, because that was like crazy to me that a nigga
that was said
grown ass man would call me a
faggot.
Yeah.
That's
what,
crazy.
Bro? You said
crazy.
What, bro?
And you're a teenager.
Yeah, like a young
nasty.
teenager too. And I'm like, whoa, my nigga, you got me way fucked up.
Yeah.
So I think that it was always somebody crossing a line because I was light skinned and light eyes and I sang, and I was like, just more about just, you know, dating and having girls around than I was trying to be tough.
Yep.
And people crossed the line quite often. So I would always have to just revert back to like, okay, now I gotta be tough.
Right.
And that shit is trash.
So how do you go from that, right? Like, you're already dealing with all this shit.
Right.
And this is, and I love this too, because it disrupts this idea, because a lot of maybe like ignorant people don't understand, like, you know, oh, well, trans women were walking around with men, and they were getting all these privileges and da-da-da-da-da, and then suddenly you just want to transition. I'm like, actually, that's not how it worked. Like, this misogyny, you are, and homophobia, you are being punished.
Well, there's a level of, by the way, to cap off to Kanye's story, I never met Ye because on the way to the goddamn radio station, I totaled my car. Some lady stopped short of the red light and totaled my whole
you were
shit.
Devastated.
I was devastated.
Oh my God.
Because
You were
not
like,
only did
my future.
I lost my car.
My future's over.
I lost my car. I lost my opportunity.
Yeah.
I lost my chance to present a demo. I was the only person allowed up at the radio station. So they were literally just going to let me in to meet Ye because it was lockdown. Like back then, he still wasn't letting people around.
Yeah.
So it was like super crazy. And yeah, I that's such a wild. So there are many different universes where I was different people.
I need to, like, same with Rick, just like different versions everywhere. So having been through though all of that, right? You said that's kind of what pushed me to like see through a transition, is that you weren't seeing anybody like you. So it was something that you were at first like a little bit.
Later in life, after college, I was like, I was watching things and I'm like, older white trans woman, a lot of like that type of, just swagless old ladies.
Yeah.
Old ladies in any genre, like just old lady type shit.
You gotta put the work in.
Yeah. So I didn't see any young, fresh trans people.
Yeah.
And the same thing I thought about gay men, right? When I was younger, I see gay men and they be like hella flamboyant, and I'd be like, "Where the construction worker niggas? They just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where are just the regular niggas that just like to get some dick? Like, oh my God, but like the regular ass, like,
because you know that you knew they existed, but you're like, I'm not seeing you.
I know that they exist. So if trans women are women, right, then that means that some of us are lesbians. That means that some of us are stems and stuff. Like that doesn't mean that we necessarily all want to be Barbie.
When you said it like that, it's like so obvious.
Makes sense, right?
It's so fucking, it's like so obvious, because that shit confused me at first. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was no conversations. I learned about all this shit because I walked into a boxing club that happened to be the only women's boxing club in Canada. But it was a haven for queers, for trans people, whatever. And I wanted to get more competitive. Not to be like sound like, but I needed to get more competitive, so I ended up moving on. But my sparring partner was a trans guy who was he had top surgery, but he wasn't on testosterone, and I wasn't on anything.
I was gonna say if he was on T, I knew them punches hurt.
Yeah, and I know because I've been in the ring with many a man. Yeah, weight.
You like
hormones.
Pat? You see Pat Manuel?
Yeah, that's my homie.
Oh, do you know Pat?
I know Pat.
I've dropped Pat's name on many a podcast, so I've been like, he was knocking niggas out.
No, he's my homie. I actually went to his first professional fight. Like, I went out to India and Cali. Yeah, because I've been to his boxing club, like, I trained at Westside.
Yeah.
And I've been to his boxing club, and I sparred with one of their like national champions, and it was that's when I was like, I could have done something with this.
I want to meet Pat. Pat, we coming to have tea.
Yeah, Pat,
we're gonna come hang out.
I want to be clear. I'm a top nigga. I'm a top. Pat walked me to my car. You understand?
Yeah. Well, Pat,
that's a man.
Pat. For those who don't know, Pat is a trans man who beats up men who were born that way.
Yeah.
And deflates all of the arguments down to the just.
It's very, very true.
He's not only knocking out niggas, he's knocking out prejudice.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say this because you got to understand this about boxing, because this matters. About, you got to understand this about boxing. There's different styles of boxing. Okay, Pat is trained and fights in the Mexican style of boxing. You need to understand that is the most hands-on, aggressive. We call it what's that? The when you used to have a phone outside and there's a box.
Oh, phone booth. Phone booth.
Yeah. We call it it's like phone booth fighting.
Oh yeah,
where
I
you're
heard
fighting
of that.
so tight.
Yeah,
it's boom, boom.
Right.
So Pat is trained. He trains and fights in a
brawler.
Mexican style. Yeah. So during his first fight, it was somebody from Yard. Like, it was a Mexican from Mexico, trained in Mexican boxing. So this guy came to fucking rip your fucking head off. The Mexican style of boxing is off that you're fighting. You're moving forward. You
right.
do not.
Not like Ali. Ali's like, don't get hit.
That's right. Like that's American style boxing, very much informed by
That's like stick and move, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's more Cuban.
Yeah.
Cuban is a lot of stick and move. American boxing is kind of like a mixture of both, and you'll see a lot of overlap with American and UK boxing.
Right.
So I watch, and then we're in this whole crowd. My boxing club went from because I got in it. So my boxing club went from like being weirdly transphobic to being like, maybe this is gonna be a good ass fight. I watched the whole room. They walked out. By then, everybody had heard that Pat was trans, and they felt some kind of way about it. And visibly, right, Pat is not a large man.
No, he's a smaller.
Yeah, and
smaller
boxers
dude.
are small in general. But there was, and you'll find this in.
Is he welter?
No. He's like a lightweight.
Lightweight. Okay.
Yeah. He'll probably fight at about the 130, 135 mark.
Word.
I'm gonna say something. Well, he might even fight. He could fight at 125 even, I'm sure. But I'm gonna tell you something, like, visually, this guy was much wider, right? And that's just gonna happen in boxing in general. This guy was much wider than Pat, so they're looking at that as proof, right? And Pat's name, everybody got a nickname in a boxing club, and Pat's name, I think it was like, I don't know how to say that. It's the Spanish word for peanut. Cacahuete or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's because it was the shape of his head.
I'm Puerto Rican. We speak Spanglish. I've never once had to say. I've never once had to say peanut.
Yeah.
I've just never had to say peanut.
It's just like it's just like dope. Like mine was, they called me part timer because they knew I wanted to go pro, but the time commitment.
Word.
I had other passion. Like boxing is my passion, but I had work. You know, I had the work I love. Like comedy was part of that. So I watched that. Pat got knocked around that first round. It was his first fight. He's representing everything. He has fought for years to get his first professional debut fighter as a trans man, as an out trans man. Everybody who loves him is there. Everybody's booing. And so that first round, you know, he did well. He performed well, but it could have gone in either way.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want to see. And I'm going to tell you something. I watched a champion walk out of that corner in that second round. All the nerves were gone. It was a fucking bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. It was just, and Pat won that fight. By the middle of that fight, by the second round, I watched the audience that had booed him start to cheer.
So with that same metaphor, that's what I'm trying to do in stand-up.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's just what I'm trying to do. It's not about that I'm trans. It's that once you hear me start talking about just life and what I find funny, all of that other shit melts away, and you can just hear me as a human being telling you about my experience as a human being.
Right.
Because that's really what we're doing, right? Otherwise, we're just, you know, is shtick or fucking prop comedy or some other kind of shit like that. But I'm more of a storyteller, and I like quick jokes, so you can get the point, you know, about like the joke I tell about
you do move through it really quickly.
Yeah,
you don't dwell.
No, unless I'm telling a story. If I'm telling a story, you know, I'm gonna walk you through, like, you know, the new thing I have coming out. I do sit down on a stool and I have a conversation, because I thought I tell a lot of sexual jokes. Yeah,
it's awesome,
because that's the life I'm living. I you know,
Pink lives a sexy life.
Hey man.
Wait, you go to?
I go to many different types of events.
Yeah.
So I see all kinds of things.
Yeah.
No, I was at AVN a couple of weeks ago in Vegas, and I have a lot of friends who are
I love Vegas.
Adult film stars, and they are some of the coolest,
they tried to recruit you,
most fun people to hang out with. Yeah.
You've been
Anyway, so
Where's the OF?
That's so funny. No, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but I have taken a few lovely adult film stars on dates, and dated, you know, just a couple, and if I like them, you know, and things, but I don't shy away. I like their world. I think they have a lot of fun, and they throw some really dope fucking parties, and they don't have any hangups because these people are naked on camera all the time. And then one of my friends, one of my porn star friends, said something to me that made so much sense, and it clicked for me. She was like, porn is just wrestling. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, you know how wrestling, like, they're really getting hit, but it's still scripted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, there's still like there's a way that it's gonna go.
It involves a lot of training.
But it's acting.
And a lot of,
it's acting.
Yeah.
And so that's what porn is. Porn is like, you're really catching this body, but you don't have any feelings for this person. You know, you might not really moan like that. some of this shit is performative. You know what I'm saying? Like this might not be the shit that you gravitate to in your normal life.
And the best ones know how to make it feel authentic because there is something authentic in it, right?
Right. Yeah. Because it takes a certain type of person to even be able to do that in the first place. Much like it takes a certain type of person to be an athlete of any kind.
I wish I had listen, I miss the OF wave. I feel like I'm too niche. I'm too niche.
I don't think that I would be, I just don't know. I don't know about, because I really like all of my other talents. It would take something interesting to happen for it to just kind of boil down to me doing adult film.
Yeah.
But I will say, if maybe one day, a video leaks or something that's beyond my control. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But but while I'm,
I'll make the ghost email right now.
That's so funny. I just really want to do cartoons.
Like voice acting?
I really just want to do cartoons. I have my own cartoon that I've drawn up and we have a deck for, and there's other cartoons that I've found out there, and I do voice acting. I do a lot of different voices.
Yeah.
And that's like been my goal since I was a kid, and to act and, to make funny content. I don't do a lot of sketches, but that's kind of like, the wave. And then as I get older, hopefully, I'll be able to shoot something, because I really want to shoot.
I'm sure,
from behind the camera.
It's, to me, I see you and I see it's like inevitable. You have a really unbelievably innate ability to make what you want happen.
Thank you.
And I feel like, it's unique to you, and it's also just, I feel like, honestly, that's part of the trans experience. We made something happen that wasn't supposed to happen. In my case, it's happening. I've been on this shit for years now. Where is it?
I feel you.
Where is it? Where's my transition? Where's my party?
Wait, you're on T?
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about?
Wait,
I've been on T for 4 years. Look how pretty I am.
I'm 8 years on.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I'm upset about it.
Look, good things take time.
I'll take that. We were going somewhere before the Pat thing, and
we were talking about comedy styles, and we were also talking about woke and things like that. Yeah. And then, if I could just retouch on the Chapelle thing.
Yeah.
I loved the opportunity to even be in that conversation.
Yeah.
Where people are asking my opinion and give a fuck. I went to Vegas right after I signed with my manager. Literally, I left
and asking your opinion on?
It's the whole transphobia thing.
Yeah.
And if the jokes cross that line and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I left the meeting with my manager and got on the highway and drove to Vegas to see Chapelle do the MGM.
Sick.
And that's what I wanted. It was my friend's birthday in Vegas.
That's called due diligence for just.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I'm a put myself in a situation person. I'll drive to go be a part of something, and I don't have any qualms about it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it doesn't come off disingenuous.
I need to see this and feel this for myself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because you want to feel the magic. You want to take the class, right? But you also want to.
I just want to be. Here come Dave Chapelle at the height of whatever, and it's black native, all this shit, but transgender lesbian comic got into the fucking car and drove to Vegas to be like, I need to go see this shit. That in of itself is a film I would watch. But go on.
Word, I feel it. And then my manager was very where are you going after this? I was like, I'm about to drive to Vegas and see Chapelle. Well, let me see if we can get you some tickets, because I was just going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, they called who they needed to call, and then Jeff, lo and behold, my guardian angel, because he's always there when the epic shit happens. It's so crazy.
He seems like such a good time. I like the roast battles because I know he's just going to show up. Go on.
He's a fun guy, and he's a genuine person. Yeah. I don't even want to be nice or whatever, because sometimes, nice people aren't genuine. He's genuine. Yeah. And I really fuck with Jeff. He wouldn't have such a wide friend group if he wasn't a genuine person. And for those people that, I've heard, once or twice people say not nice things about people, I'm proud to say that I've been able to be yo, relax, or like, yo, that's my friend, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I value loyalty, so I
yeah,
do.
as a Scorpio, as a Scorpio and
I'm
somebody from where I'm
like,
from,
yeah.
I just, if I'm your friend,
I think I'm on the cusp, so I get it.
Yeah, I can't let people talk about my
This is
friends.
me trying to fit in because I don't understand anything about astrology.
But okay, you're in the car.
Oh my God.
This is me trying to trying to make Pink like me more.
Stop. You don't have to make me like you. I'm here because I rock with you already.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be like no sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you are a no person, nigga. Like,
I'm not thirsty for the, you know what I'm saying?
No, you are not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
you know,
I see people come to you. I walked in improv. When we was walking out, people come to you, but you were going to this show.
I was going to the show.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be around and catch it myself and hear what was going on. Yeah. And you know, we got the backstage passes, and then I met Chapelle before that, actually, as like super open micer.
Yeah.
And what I said to him was, I was just so floored because I grew up watching Chapelle show and all that shit like everybody else my age. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, this moment is like meeting Pryor in the 70s. Like this is, this is like Pryor pulling up in the late 70s, man. It's like really epic that I'm able to stand here. And then he was like, grabbed his chest, like, oh, and because the nigga pulled up in a black truck and he was just bumping like some Mos Def sitting in the back parking lot of the store.
He's gonna be hitting some Black Star 100%.
And it's nighttime. Like, yo, it's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
He's smoking a bogey and he's just being Dave Chapelle. Head bobbing, just sitting in
brown,
it.
little brown.
And we're all just puppy dogging. Like, just watching this nigga be great and live, and and then it was his time to go on, and it was like when we all just 30, 40 comedian, maybe single filed into this shit and just sat in there and just watched as he just tore down the OR. And he's having just conversation with us out, like maybe he might have did like 2 hours, something crazy like that. And we're just sitting there like, it was just a wild moment.
Yeah.
And and I caught a few of those, but I made that first one, I made my presence known and I told them how I felt. And that meant a lot to me because, how often is it that we get to see our heroes or people that we grew up watching that helped form, our thought process and our personalities, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
We get to look at a motherfucker and say, hey man, thank you. Thank you for that art that you put out because it did something to me and it made me think this way or it made me feel that way. And it did, it helped. And I've been able to do that with a lot of people that I look up to. Martin, Dave. I watched a lot of roasts as a kid, believe it or not. And so meeting Jeff alone was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And so, just those people, man, is fucking crazy. I met Vince Vaughn at the Comedy Store, who was like 8'2". This nigga is so tall.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. But I've never shied away from those moments. When I was doing music as a kid, I smoked a blunt with the Wu-Tang Clan.
What the fuck?
I was like,
you're just like naming all of these like icons. Like Vince Vaughn was the first time when I realized that like weird looking white guys could be attractive. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
did you really? You looked up at him, you're like, I did that.
Yeah, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I was like, I understand this.
Yeah.
There's something like, and then it was like him and Will Ferrell. They got me. I was like, oh, I like unique faces. That's what it was weird because I mean that's who I was seeing all the time on television. Black men to me, I've not really seen they're just black people are just beautiful to me. That's my major bias.
Who are your heroes? Do you have heroes?
I do.
Have you met any of them?
Not yet, no. Like Kat is one of them.
Word.
And a lot of them are, actively working. Like, Louis C.K. is one of them. And I have a lot of like, I have a more nuanced take. I think, I love his comedy. I also think that he did some fuck shit and then said, I did this. And I'm fucking gross. And I should have never done this. And at that point, society responds. He goes out, and now he self-produces all of his shit and everything else, and he's a pariah. And for me, I'm like, I'm gonna get back into the list. We don't even need to get into this.
I wasn't even gonna bring up the crazy Louis C.K. shit.
But I'm bringing this up because like I feel like they're owed a little context.
Yeah.
Which is that I believe, I firmly believe that throwing people away is who no longer perpetuate their harm is a very dangerous mistake. You throw people away, they come back round again. The earth is round. They come right back, and I want us to have a hand in shaping the person who comes back. I don't think that people will be honest about their harm ever if it's social death that's the response. I also think that, and I've talked about this on the show, but there were flaws.
Chapelle said that.
Yeah, I feel like he always says versions.
He said something like that, and he was talking about Nelson Mandela and apartheid.
Yeah,
and he goes, "See, at the end of apartheid should have been a bloodbath by any measure." See, I be listening.
You do.
And he's like, "But I had everybody, they had everybody come to the trials and said, without being punished, say what it is you did." And then they were able to whatever.
That is
That's interesting.
Where the work can begin.
That
because
is such
what
an interesting
people
outlook.
need more than anything when harm is done is to feel understood, to completely feel seen, and that something was done to them.
You know what something is? It's kind of unique as an experience.
Yeah.
When people start recognizing you, and you're in the dating world. Or you're single, and you start to realize that some people are only fucking you because of your proximity to other famous people. And that's a scary thing, right? Because, I'm in the dating world, right? Like, I have a girlfriend right now.
Yeah.
And I really, really like my girlfriend. She's amazing. She's so sweet and kind. And I hope I don't have to backtrack none of this.
Yeah.
But I will if I need to, goddammit. But my girl,
Wait, no, comedians.
Go ahead.
Carlin.
Okay.
Pryor, obviously.
Right.
Michelle Wolf. She's so fucking funny.
I met Michelle.
Yeah. She's so fucking funny. Her shit's like mad original. She's fearless. And
never had a conversation. Just like a whistle, like a quick hi, but like always. I've maybe like 4 or 5 times been around her.
That's sick. More contemporary. Robin Tran. I like her so much. I like you. You're definitely, and it's wild to I'm like, wow, my favorites are also contemporaries, which is really weird. And now I'm getting to meet some of y'all. And then I pick 2 comedians every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then I just watch everything they've ever done, read every book. Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
Is because he's just so unbelievably fucking unique. His intonation, his cadence.
By God, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, So Jim Carrey. Just like
I got to meet Jim Carrey in the coolest way. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Ah, okay.
But go ahead.
We're in our final thoughts. We're in our final thoughts kind of moment. So. You got your podcast coming out.
Yeah. Well, you went the CK route, and we didn't taper off because I started talking about my girlfriend out of nowhere.
Oh.
Not out of nowhere, but just to say the man is not him, because I'm not making up for nobody's crazy shit.
Yeah.
When you get into a position of spotlight, the way you conduct yourself in the dating world, it suddenly under magnifying glass, whereas the average person, it's not.
No,
so
listen.
And everybody,
you are your shittiest version in a fight with your fucking partner.
Here's the thing. Everybody wants a story. Everybody wants a story. Yeah. If you're seen as a nice person, somebody is waiting for the time that you aren't nice, so that they can tell people, hey, this person actually isn't nice.
That's right.
If you're a sweet person, if you're intelligent, they're waiting for the opportunity for you to be fucking dumb in a moment or make a mistake so they can say, see, this person's not what you thought they were. And that's society, and that's the issues that we really need to tackle with society. That's my final thought. If you want a final thought from me, it's let humans human. And
let humans human.
And we just have to figure out the things that make us similar instead of the things that make us dissimilar. And I'm nobody.
So that we can enjoy those dissimilarities in the way that they were meant to be enjoyed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to be preachy, but in my comedy, I just want you to laugh at how different I am than you and experience a life that you'll never live.
Yeah, and it's weird because in doing it, I've watched it. I saw it happen. I saw the crowd pull away from you so hard at the as you're moving through this bit that you're working through. I think it's vague enough. I could just call it the AI bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. and I watch them. Like you have them. They're the highs and lows. They pull back. They emotionally pull back. You're scaring the shit out of them. You don't stop. I don't even know if you registered it.
Oh, I caught it.
Okay, and you just like for me my whole thing as a political speaker has been like pulling the emotions out and putting it back. That's not what comedy is at all. You're aware of it. So, but
in a way,
yeah, I still would have reacted though. In a minute, I would have called them out, maybe been like, "Don't pull away now." I'm still in that stage. I watched you, but you just kept going, and then the tension grew, and then it was AI and race. Tension grows. Break point with a segue. I'll just say that. And if I watched them fucking split fucking open. Such a payoff.
That's a brand new joke.
Yeah.
And I've been working that joke. I may have only told that joke four
charged.
times.
Yeah, very futuristic, very racially charged.
But it's accurate.
And so you pull them in.
Yeah.
But in your storytelling, there's something unbelievably human. And so even though you're like, I'm living a life that you will not understand, you're also saying, I'm having experiences that you absolutely will. Mm-hmm. And then you can take it fucking somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the hand-in-hand quality. It's that I'm living a crazy life. I go to AVN and I'm at the Urban X Awards and I'm here and I'm with this crazy person and I'm over there and then I come and tell you about it. And some people are going to be like, you're name dropping, you're a celebrity, trying to be around celebrities all the time. And then other people will be like, wow, that's a cool fucking story. Yeah. Wow, I wish I had that experience. Yeah. You never know who's going to feel what type of way.
You're working your craft and you're seeing through your dreams. And the thing that I take from you, and I've said this, and I think this is, we need to be more entitled. Our community needs to be more entitled about the things that really matter. Yeah. Go after it. Get the fuck after it. Nobody's giving us shit. They never have. The fucking worst things have happened to you already. You didn't fucking die. Get after it. Yeah. They're not giving a shit. So take it. And you take and you give. That was too sexy. I gotta.
No, I appreciate that. I just want to say, so we're wrapping up. You're not the first person to tell me that I'm one of their favorite comedians. And for me to still be so early in my career, it's not lost on me how special that is.
Yeah, and you're not double digits yet.
I really appreciate that because there's times when we all doubt ourselves and we're all like, okay, what next? But it's this community, right, of us being queer and Black and in the dating world and young and, just in it. Yeah, that needs a voice, and the more the merrier. You know what I'm saying? It's not to be gate-kept. It's that we're all living different experiences, even if they're similar. They're different, and there's nothing wrong with expressing that. And so, thank you for highlighting that, because that made me, I'm gonna take that through my day now.
Yeah, I'm following you, dude. I'm gonna be your little brother. You know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm an only child. I'm always taking little brothers.
Yeah, that's great.
There you go. I'm taking little brothers, little sisters, older sisters. Yeah. I call people bro so much, I think it's fucking annoying, but it's because I'm an only child, and I'm just trying to build that camaraderie, that family, and I build families in every city I live in and everywhere I go, and when I meet new people, I sometimes motherfuckers will be a cousin, you never know, but all in all, I just hope that I made a new friend, and that's really what's important to me. So making friends, making family, chosen family is part of the queer experience. But
and I think that's what I love most about the comedy scene is like, if you come in trying to make moves, nobody's fucking with you.
You can't come in like that. You can't come in trying to, nothing that I've done has been strategic. I've only followed my heart.
Well, that's the word right there. That's the word right there. You it's crazy because you even answered the question that the place where I was going to go, you actually, I forgot earlier, was on how the culture of comedy has changed. There's so many more voices, and you have this like queer contingent of comics, and that they don't work around in this. But you actually just spoke to it right there. It's like we have to go where the people are, and we have to follow our heart.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that are adverse to the movement. You're going to get those people that are, your negative, people that are going to be highlighted by other people that don't quite fuck with us. Yeah. There's going to be trans people that are like, I'm not a woman and I'm not this and I feel like that. And then a Republican or a red alt-right person will come out of nowhere and be like, this person's got some sense, and put them on a platform. You know what I mean?
Bring back Hank Hill white guys. I love those guys. Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
it's like, I mean, that's why I fuck with Shane Gillis so much. She's actually one of my favorites too. It's like, I'm looking at, because I did this thing where I had a list of all these older comedians who, you know, are either passed away or inactive. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to blend this list to like, who is motivating me, whose work is unbelievable, whose work is needed right now. And I got you early, and I'm so fucking grateful. I got you on the early side before you don't have the time, before you're on tour all the time. This is Pink Foxx. This person has done the fucking has hit the holy grails of comedy. And it's
not
just at the beginning. Not all of them, but
not all of them. But
I've
played some cool places.
Yeah. I'm gonna be following your fucking podcast. I'm following your career, and I'm following you.
And hopefully we have you on when we get started.
Yeah, hell yeah. This has been Dark Woke, y'all. You already know what's up.
Let's smoke a joint.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, peace.